Hi everyone, welcome to this week's market signals of week 32 of 2020. As you can see, for those who are familiar with our market signals, instead of having an ocean of green numbers, we have an ocean of red numbers in the indices, looking at index of 18 countries that we started following in week 13, extended to index 36 that we started following 15. And then we added one more country to make sure we have all countries covering the European Union. And we can see there is a decrease everywhere. Index 18 minus 500,000 job ads on LinkedIn. Then since week 15 in the 36 countries, it's minus 300,000. And in the EU, we have a slight increase, comparing week 17 to week 32, but when we look at the weekly changes in all of the indices, we have a decrease everywhere. So not a very positive week. Then you can see the weekly changes by region, and you can see it's very dynamic and very different in the different regions. As always, we track winners and losers of the week, which I'll show you in a bit. One more word when it comes to European Union. The European Union has kept the number of published job ads above the initial level for the last 6 weeks, but there is a decrease of minus 2.17% since last week. One thing worth noticing, we did start tracking the European countries in week 17, which means that all the numbers that we compare to are already comparing to a lower level than the initial numbers of week 13 or even week 15. Then we have Southeastern Europe. Since last week, the most job ads were published in Southeastern Europe. This is one of the winners of the week. We have a slight increase of plus 2.05%. And the only positive results of the week, when we compare week 15 to week 32, are in Northern and Southern Eastern Europe, with plus 3.5% and plus 1.7%. Another winner of the week is Italy, that have had the worst results in all the countries, and they have noted now an increase of plus 10.47%. So Italy, we have a ray of hope. And when we look at Norway at the comparison between week 15 and 32, we have an increase of plus 111.22%. So that's also very good. One interesting fact to share: the Benelux countries have always been very diverse, so it was not a homogeneous region. However, since we're week 13, they're more or less the same, as you can see here on the graph. What else do we have? The Baltic countries that were doing so well. You can see that since week 31, all of the countries see a decrease in the number of published job ads on LinkedIn. This could have something to do with a temporary slowdown because it's August, but only observation will tell if that's true. Then we also have losers of the week here, worth mentioning again. So Southern Europe. Southern Europe has held the last place for the past weeks and still hasn't reached not even the initial job ad level. And between week 15 and 32, almost 100,000 job ads have disappeared from LinkedIn. And between week 31 and 32, the region that was actually one of the strongest looking at the past weeks has now noted a decrease of minus 9%, which are the Visegrad countries. Then we also need to look at Poland and Finland, minus 11.64% and minus 11.62% respectively. And when we look at the comparison of week 15 to week 32, we need to mention Ireland with a decrease of minus 36.48%. That's minus, it's over 1/3 of job ads that have disappeared in that time period. Now, if you're one of the candidates that are actively looking for a job that have been impacted by COVID-19, or you think something might happen in the nearest future, feel free to get in touch with Career Angels. You have access to the following services that are completely confidential and free of charge. You can request a CV report or a career consultation. Simply send an email to me, bichl.sandra@careerangels.eu, and I will then match you with the most relevant career consultant, or I will make sure that my team and I prepare a good CV report for you. Now, some might say, well, it's summer, does it really make sense to think about career and job search? Well, if you want to start a job in, let's say, September, October, November, December, and you are a senior candidate, it does take 3 to 6 months, depending on your seniority and market conditions, maybe even 9 to 12 months. So the longer you wait and the longer you postpone action, and even if it's just preparation, the longer you will be looking for a job. In the meantime, you can also join the Hidden Job Market group on LinkedIn, where we select job ads on a weekly basis. This week, for example, out of almost 40 job ads that we have curated, you will find, for example, Global IT Director, CFO at Zen Jobs, etc. What's worth mentioning with the Hidden Job Market, that all the job ads that we select, it is a high likelihood of the job that's actually existing, of the recruitment process is actually existing, and they often have multiple locations, so it's not available for only based in one location, and all of them are in English, so there's also a high probability for those companies to allow international candidates into the recruitment processes. Plus, every week we also add job ads from recruiters, executive search consultants that recommend us and that use us as a source of candidates, which also applies to companies that know of Career Angels and know that we are a source of candidates. So there is a combination of job ads both from LinkedIn and other sources. If you want more, you can obviously also follow us, our company page on LinkedIn called Career Angels, surprise, surprise. And you can follow our showcase page called Market Signals for daily updates on the job market in Europe. And I highly recommend that you check in on Saturday to be able to download the full report on week 32. Thank you very much for listening. See you next week.